In the news tonight, Britain's Prime Minister John Major is in a major power struggle. He resigned as head of the Conservative Party and said he'll resign next as Prime Minister unless he is re-elected as his party's leader. Russian President Boris Yeltsin demanding another no-confidence vote after losing one yesterday. If he loses again, he's threatening to dissolve the parliament and to call for new elections. And Mickey Mantle having rejection problems with his transplanted liver. Doctors, however, are calling the problems slight. They do expect to control them with steroids. The latest on the O.J. Simpson trial now, a milestone of sorts today. It was day 100. The prosecution is getting ready to wrap up its case, and joining me now with the latest is NBC legal correspondent Jack Ford. Jack, still a lot of talk about gloves today.
Tom, there was. You know, the prosecution was obviously stung by the problems they had with those gloves in O.J. Simpson a week ago, so they're still pushing to try and minimize that. Prosecutor Chris Darden told the court yesterday that at some point the prosecution is going to have a picture of O.J. Simpson with those gloves on. Now, NBC has been subpoenaed, has complied with the subpoena, seeking tapes for 2 NFL games in 1993 and 1994 that O.J. Simpson was involved with, and also apparently there's a third subpoena coming for a 1991 game. If they, in fact, show him wearing gloves, the prosecution's got a couple of questions. First, can they show that they are the same gloves? And secondly, they have to decide when to use them. They try and fit it in this last week of their presentation, or maybe do they hold back on them and perhaps confront O.J. Simpson if he takes the witness stand. So I don't think the jury, Tom, has heard the last of the gloves yet.
All right, thanks very much, Jack Ford. Now to NBC News Online. That's information beyond the day's headlines. This first full day of summer, the Center for Marine Conservation's annual beach cleanup. This year it covered more than 5,000 miles of waterfront. Look at this. They made quite a haul. More than 5.5 million bottles, cans, and assorted other pieces of trash, including a mountain of cigarette butts. What to do with those frequent flyer miles? Well, United Airlines is holding an auction for its top customers. Top prize, your name in 5-foot type on the side of a United plane for a year. The minimum bid here, 500,000 miles. The summer heat isn't for everybody. In Chicago, it's been in the 90s for days now, so the Brookfield Zoo helped their polar bears cool off with a little ice. Everyone else will have to bear the heat in their own way. When we come back, the Promise Keepers. Hundreds of thousands of members, but why only men?
You know,
there's a lot of talk these days about a growing trend in America, a return to traditional values or a greater emphasis on fundamental beliefs. One organization that is getting a lot of attention is called the Promise Keepers. However, as NBC's Roger O'Neill tells us tonight, the Promise Keepers are not for everyone.
Welcome to Promise Keepers 95.
It's cheering for Jesus in a football stadium.
Praise the name of the Lord.
But it's for men only.
We've turned aside to seek God.
68,000 men in Denver. 750,000 more men across the country who will raise their hands to God and sign the pledge of a promise keeper. And their promises?
A promise keeper is committed to honoring Jesus Christ.
And wife, church, and community. What began with a handful of men in 1990 is today a worldwide $65 million a year tax-exempt business. In their commercials, it's a little old-time religion with a lot of new age music and graphics.
Despite its phenomenal growth, Promise Keepers will deliver the message to 13 mostly sold-out stadiums this year. The one rap the organization has not been able to get away from is its policy excluding women.
It's not the message. There's a corporate midlife crisis going on with men in America, and I believe that there is a void. And so men experience together that we need each other.
Bill McCartney, welcome him.
If Promise Keepers has a human lightning rod, it is Bill McCartney, the former football coach of the University of Colorado.
I believe Almighty God has given me a message that's going to change your life. Forgive and give, and you will live.
McCartney founded Promise Keepers, and while he attacks abortion and homosexuality, his organization says it has no political agenda. And yet McCartney refused our request for an interview. But in the stadium, even in the pouring rain, the coach is the main event.
God saw fit to bring the cleansing rains.
He's the star, the man who preaches to the men, and only the men. Roger O'Neill, NBC News, Denver.
That's Nightly News for Thursday. I'm Tom Brokaw. Brian Williams will be here tomorrow night. I'll see you after a few days off. This time I hear the call of wild salmon. I only hope that they hear me. See you later.
NBC News, now more than ever.